back with another mommy favorites video, and in this one I'm going to share my favorites from my daughter's second month of life. So she's 2 months old now, so I did my 1 month old favorites, which I will link for you guys. I will throw up in a card and a link below if you guys want to see what I liked for her first month of her life. These are my standout products from the second month, my experience as a new mom. You know, it's all new to me, but these are the things that really have made a difference in my day-to-day experience as a new mom of a 2-month-old. So first and foremost, and probably most importantly, is baby wearing. I have become a baby wearing mama. I always kind of knew I would be, and I bought myself Solly wrap before Charlotte. No, that was a gift. Did I register for it? I don't know. I got a Solly wrap. I either bought it or it was a gift. I can't remember now, but it's basically just one of those really long, like tie style wraps. And I used it a ton. After about 3 weeks, I felt strong enough. I had a C-section, so I felt strong enough after about 3 weeks I started experimenting with it. And when I first wore it, I wore it with like a belly band. I haven't worn the belly bandit aside from the first few weeks that I was baby wearing. I just wanted the extra support. I haven't worn it every day. I know there are people who swear by it, but it's just not comfortable for me, and I just didn't go there. But in the early days of baby wearing, when I was still pretty tender from my C-section and I wanted to protect my back, which was weak as well from recovery, I was all about that. Anyway, love the Solly. I actually went ahead and ordered myself a second one, and I had ordered this when it was back ordered. It's a special pattern by Amanda Jane Jones. I don't know who that is, but it's a special pattern. It's really pretty. And it's just one of those standard things that you kind of wrap around yourself in this really intricate way. And it seems really complicated at first, and I have to admit, it took me a couple of weeks to really feel comfortable and confident doing it. Like I felt good once I got her in it, but it would take me a while to get it set up so that I felt good in it. So it is a bit of a learning curve, but there's tons of videos online. Solly has their own how-to videos, which are great as well, to help you with that. What I like about the Solly baby wrap is it's the most secure wrap that I have. I have 3 wraps. I have the Solly wrap, I have a baby Catan, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and I have the Maya wrap ring sling, which my baby doesn't like, although I haven't tried it in a couple of weeks, so I have to see if she likes it more now that she's bigger. But she didn't like it, and I didn't really like the way it distributed the weight. Maybe I wasn't wearing it right, but I felt like it was harder on my back. The Solly, out of all those 3, has been the most secure feeling to me. So when I know I'm going to be wearing her for a long time, or if I'm going to be like going out for a walk with her and my dog Winnie, I'll wrap her in this. And it's great. The downside is it takes a couple minutes to put on, and sometimes you don't have a couple of minutes with a newborn who's panicking and wants you to hold them and you need your arms, and it's just like, okay. The thing is, when I was using this every day, what I would do is I would tie it on first thing in the morning, and I wouldn't take it off until at night, and I'd just be popping her in and out. And you can kind of just like move it aside to nurse and stuff. I know people nurse in their wraps. I haven't figured that out yet. I don't know if I will. I like nursing sitting down, so I've tried nursing standing up with my baby. She doesn't care for it, so I don't know. But Solly is my #1, and that was the first thing, my first foray into baby wearing. Well then, I kind of forgot I had ordered that. It was back ordered for a long time, that second Solly wrap, because I have a refluxy baby, and if you have a refluxy baby, you know they spit up a lot, so I knew I wanted a second wrap so I could have one in the wash and then one that was clean at any moment. So I kind of forgot that I had back ordered that, and I went ahead and bought myself the baby Catan on Amazon, and I'm really glad that I did. Now I have so many wraps, right? But I have a feeling we're going to be using them all because this baby loves to be carried, she loves to be worn, and I feel like I'm going to be carrying her for a very long time. So I don't mind having all of these. I have 2 Sollys now, and I'm actually considering getting another baby Catan just to have one to like leave in the car or something even, or leave in my diaper bag, because this is like the easiest of all 3 options. The ring sling, I just don't think I figured it out. It's really hard for me to get the, what do they call it? Where you like weave it through. I can't figure that out right. It's just not sitting right. This is so easy. It's basically like they took the tying out of the wrap. It's 2 bands of fabric connected by another smaller band. You basically, you put it on, it's super easy. I wear it all day. basically, when I get out of the shower in the morning, I put this on, and then you just have one side down when you're not wearing the baby. Then to put the baby in, you put the baby on one side, and then you bring the other side up, and then you have the baby, she's right there. And then it has another piece that you tie over it for extra security. But it's just so easy. You don't have to wrap anything. You don't have to, like, I mean, you have to tie that one thing, especially if you want, like, the extra support. And they do recommend that. But it's just so easy, and I can pop her in and out of it like lickety-split. And if I need to take it off, if I want to run out, it's not so hard. It's not like 15 yards of fabric I have to unwind from myself. So as much as I love the Solly, the Baby Catan, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, it's Baby K apostrophe Tan or Tan. Baby, I have no idea how to pronounce it, but I highly recommend it. I'm loving it. Again, it's not quite as supportive because I can't get it quite as, not tight, but like secure, so it's a little harder on the back, so I prefer that just for day in, day out use when I'm popping her in and out. But if I were going to be wearing her for longer, like if I were taking her, you know, into a store or for a walk, I would go with the Solly Baby Wrap, which is comparable, I think, to like a Boba wrap, and a Moby makes one too, so there's lots of those sorts of things out there. I also thought I would talk about some of my favorite kind of utility items. Again, as I mentioned with the Refluxy baby, burp cloths have been really important to me in the second month. She spit up a lot in her between weeks 5 and 8 or 9. She's getting a little less spit uppy now that we've figured out she has reflux, and we're getting that under control. So that's actually improving, but these are my favorite. These are by Carter's, and they sell, Carter's has them at their store, but then you can also get them at Target for the Just One You made by Carter's, and they're pretty inexpensive. I don't remember exactly how much a 4-pack is, but it's not that expensive. I really like, they're really nice. They're like really kind of nice and plush. They're a nice weight. They're not too thin. They're not too thick. They have the terry cloth on one side and a nice soft kind of cotton on the other. They're super easy to throw in the wash. I have like 8 of them because we go, you know, once one's soiled, I toss it in the wash, and then we pick up I pick up another one. What I like about this above other burp cloths that I've tried is the size. I am not like a really broad person, and to me it's the perfect size. Other burp cloths I've tried, they come down to here and it's just a little uncomfortable, and then it starts falling over. I feel like I can wear this on my shoulder really well. It stays put. I love the dual side. I love that it has terry included, and like I said, they're just easy to have and to wash, and they're pretty small. So it's easy to take with me. I have a couple that just live in our diaper bag, and they're my favorite. They're my favorite burp cloths. So you can get them at Carter's, you can get them at Target. Also by Carter's is their receiving blankets, which we use to swaddle currently. I cannot get the swaddle down with the Aiden and I muslin blankets, which we have a ton of that we received as gifts, and they're beautiful. And maybe if she gets a little bigger, or we can just use them as like cuddly blankets down the road, I'm not sure. I haven't quite figured out their purpose for us in particular yet, because like I said, the swaddle is just, she breaks out of it. I can't get it right, and my baby is a baby who really likes to be swaddled. Some babies really love it, some babies don't. Charlotte absolutely needs it to sleep, or she's just beside herself. So what I like about these, and the first set of these, actually a different set, it's really pretty. It's like an orange striped one, and then one with floral. It came in a set of 2, was a gift from a sweet friend. Thank you if you're watching. I know you know who you are. We use those all the time. That was the first time I'd had those blankets, and the great thing about them is they're a smaller, so they won't work forever, but they have a really nice stretch to them, but they're not like so flimsy, you know what I mean? Like they hold a bit. I can stretch them around her. It's comfortable. She has a little bit of wiggle room, but not too much, and I can get it really nicely wrapped around her so she feels secure, and that's what she likes. And they come in cute patterns. I bought these at the Carter's store. I don't know if they sell them at Target with the Carter's, the Just For You or Just One You or whatever the extension brand is, but I found this set at Carter's, and the other set, like I said, was a really sweet gift. Love, 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 love those. And we have 4 of them all day, so that works out well. And I swaddle her in these when she's during the day for naps, but at night she goes in her Halo sleep swaddle swaddle sleep sack or whatever it's called. I talked about that in the 1 month favorites video. Still love that. She's just about to grow out of the first size in terms of length, so I went ahead and bought her the next size up in a cotton blend instead of fleece, so it's a little bit lighter weight as it's getting warmer. Okay, now I mentioned refluxy baby, dealing with gas, dealing with reflux. There's certain medications and, you know, gas drops and gripe waters and things you can try to help your baby, right? What I found is the traditional way that you give things like that to a baby is with one of these little syringe things. Charlotte hates this, and I can't blame her, because it's not a smooth thing. No matter how slowly you try to plunge it out of there, it comes shooting out, and it's really abrupt, and it's really hard to control, and it makes her gag and choke, and I hated that. So I went on the web searching for something better, and I found the passodose. This is genius. This was designed by a doctor. It is absolutely genius. What it is, it's like a pacifier-like attachment that goes on top of the syringe, and it fits on all standard syringes like this. But it comes with one, and I like the one it comes with. It seems a little less abrupt of a plunger than other ones that I've tried. And what you do is, you know, you put this in your gripe water, whatever, you take out the amount you want, you attach this to it, and then you pop this in their mouth, and you slowly, you know, plunge it. That's not a good word, but I don't know what other word to use. And what it does is the way it sits in their mouth basically goes right to the back of their tongue, not to the back of the throat to where they would choke or spew or, you know, gag or anything like that, right to the back of the tongue, and then they swallow it instead of spitting it. So you're getting the medication or gripe water or gas drops, whatever you're doing, in there all the way without the mess and without losing it and knowing how much, you know, and not knowing how much came out if you're doing like exact dose of something. And B, it's way more pleasant for them. Charlotte like basically sucks the liquid out of there. I don't even have to really like plunge it anymore. That's terrible. I don't know why I keep saying plunge, but I can't think of something else, another word. But this is genius, and I highly recommend it. This would be on my must-haves for infant care, along with the nose Frida like snot sucker thing, although she really hasn't been that congested. We have humidifier built into our heating system, and also I have a standalone humidifier I put by her at night. So she really, I mean, there hasn't been a lot of snot, but when there is snot, that thing comes in super handy. Anyway, passodose for the win. And the last couple of things I want to talk about are some bath items. And I think what I'm going to do, and I don't know if I'm going to have already written this post, I'm going to try to have the post up either before or around the same time as this video. I'm going to share about my favorite infant bath care products, but I just wanted to talk about a couple of things right here. Bath time. Well, let me talk about the tub first. I couldn't bring the tub up because it's huge. Well, it's not huge, but you know, it's a big size. We have the 4Moms bathtub. It is awesome. This was a gift, a shower gift. Love this tub. It's probably more expensive than your average plastic tub, but I love the built-in electronic temperature gauge. It tells you when you're in the safe range between, it's like in the 90 to 99 degree range is safe. It like lights up green, and then it gets red and beepy if you get too hot, and it gets blue and beepy if you get too cold. And it has this 2 reservoir system. So the clean water comes in the first reservoir where you can like dip in your washcloth, and it comes with a little cup for rinsing and stuff. And then the baby sits in the larger reservoir, and that's where the water like files into, and it has a little like dirty water out slot, so you can, you know, just in case things come out of your baby, which they probably will when you're giving them a bath, that can go out and they're not sitting in the icky water. It's a constant flowing system, and I really like that for the infant. And also it sits perfectly in our double sink, so that saved my back too. I haven't had to do the bathing her in a sink right now is easier because she needs so much care and so much support. She has really she doesn't have a lot of control on sitting up by herself or anything yet. So having her in the sink and having her up here where I can really hold on to her and not be bending over at the same time saves my back. So that's really for me, that part, that it fits in the sink. But I love the tub, and I know it will last us a long time. The one thing with the tub though is that it's pretty big. I mean, it's supposed to, you know, you're supposed to be able to use it for a while, for your baby for a while. So the part they sit in is kind of large. And babies can kind of float around a little bit, and you got to be careful because they can dip, even with that water going out the little like exit reservoir, they can dip under. You just got to be careful. So for a while I had like a towel that I put in there to kind of hold her in place. That wasn't really helping. Not hold her in place, but give a little bit more cushioning around her so she wasn't so like floppy all the time. Always keep a hand on your child when they're in the water, when they're that young. But what I did is I bought this Summer Infant, what is it called? Wait, I have to look it up because I don't remember. Summer Infant Comfy Bath Sponge. This is really inexpensive. I got it on Amazon. I can't remember how much it was, but it was less than $15. And it's kind of like this memory foam-esque sponge. Looks like a really simple thing. Fits perfectly in the 4Moms tub. I'm sure it would fit in other tubs great too. Keeps her perfectly wedged in there. Comfy, cozy, warm. It sucks up the warm water, which is great too. Her head is protected, so she's not like banging her head on the back of the tub. The tub isn't that hard, but you know, and it's just made bath time so much more easy. So I would highly recommend having this regardless of what tub you have or something like it, so you have a little bit more support for your baby while they're in the tub. And then my last tub favorite that I'm going to share here, like I said, I'm going to do a whole post dedicated to bath time favorites, is the Shea Moisture fragrance-free, gluten-free baby extra mild wash and shampoo with aloe vera, cocoa butter, and vitamin B, ultra-sensitive, hypoallergenic, pediatrician tested. That is a big label of words. Basically, this is the stuff. I had bought this, is it Mustela is the other brand? I think that's the other brand. I might not be saying that right at all. I bought the Mustela newborn shampoo first because I was like, oh, it's so well rated and blah, blah, blah. And I used it on the first time I washed her hair back when she was just getting sponge baths before her umbilical. It took a really long time for her umbilical cord to fall out. It was like she didn't have an actual bath in the tub until she was 4 weeks old because it took that long for the rest of her umbilical cord business to fall out. So I was just doing sponge baths with her, and to wash her hair, I would have her wrapped up in a towel and kind of over the sink, and I was just kind of washing her hair like that. So I used that Mustela stuff the first time, and it was so fragrant. I was like, what is this? And then I don't know, I felt like it was so fragrant, it was overpowering, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like how fragrance this was. So I picked this up at Target, and it has a bit of a fragrance, but it's very, very mild. It's just kind of like a mild, like super mild soap fragrance, I would say. It doesn't have like fragrance, if you know what I mean. This is what we use on her hair, on her body. It's perfect. It gets the job done. It's super gentle. We haven't had any issues with cradle cap or eczema or anything like that as of yet. Like I said, she's like 2.5 months old now, right? Or just about. So I think that's pretty good. And this stuff has been really great. And like I said, I use it head to toe. I don't wash her face with soap. I just use little cotton balls to wash her face, she's just so little. It's just so cute. But I really, really like this, and I see us using this until it's gone, and then maybe by that point we can break into some other products. But I don't know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Those were all my product favorites from this past month. I did want to share one blog that I happened upon. I had the second month of Charlotte's life was challenging, and I talked about that in my 2-month update. I mean, I love my little girl. I love her so much, and I would fly to the moon and back for her like 1,000 times with my own arms if I had to. But even though I can't fly, but it was tough, and there was a lot of time spent in my nursing chair, and it was a lot of it was tough. There was a lot of, you know, tough moments and moments where I just wasn't sure how things were going, and I felt really kind of lost a little bit as a new mom, and just not knowing what I was doing, and not feeling comfortable to like talk to anybody about it, which in hindsight I think you should. But I spent a lot of time in my nursing chair, like I said, because she nursed constantly for comfort, and so I had my one hand, right, with my phone in my one hand, and I spent so much time surfing the web. Like, that's how I did all of my research, all my product research, all of my other research to figure out, you know, reflux and all that. I mean, I did so much stuff on my phone. And during my hours, I found this one blog, Nourishable.com. I don't think this woman is currently blogging. I haven't noticed if she has current posts. But it was right around, like, Charlotte was right about 5.5 weeks and a little bit. like 5 weeks and like 6 days or something, or 5 days. And she was right in that range, and she was going through her massive 6-week growth spurt, which I've heard across the board, people say the 6-week growth spurt is like the craziest. And they don't tell you about the growth spurt. Like, they kind of glaze over the growth spurts in the child rearing classes. They're like, oh, well, they'll have growth spurts. They are serious, and you're like, what is going on? But I was in the middle of this major growth spurt. I didn't know what was happening. I was just feeling really overwhelmed and concerned for my baby, and I wanted to make sure she was okay. And I was in a lot of pain because of my issues, which again I talked about in my 2-month update, which I will link for you guys. I don't know if I mentioned, I'll link that for you. Anyway, I found this blog post from this woman about, I was researching 6-week growth spurts because I finally figured out like maybe she's going through a growth spurt a little bit early. So I found this blog post, and I will link the exact blog post below because it was a turning point for me. It was the point during that really tough time in the middle of that what was a really tough month, to be honest. That blog sparked the turning point for me where I was like, you know what? This is it. This is me. I have this angry little squirrel. If you read the post, you'll understand. She needs me right now. This is okay. This is normal. She's okay. She's healthy. We'll get through this. I can do this. And from that point on, I took a can-do attitude. I mean, it wasn't like I was giving up before then. I just felt like emotionally overwhelmed because I felt a little bit lost. It wasn't postpartum depression or anything. So I really was so happy at the same time. It was just a lot of overwhelming things going on between the reflux and not knowing what that was, and the growth spurt, and my own, issues with my own breast pain and stuff. So that blog post, that was like the saving grace moment. And I found that, I was like, you know what? This woman, she's speaking my language. I understand now, and I can go on. And from then on, it's just been okay. It was always okay, but now it's really okay. You know what I mean? And we've had speed bumps since then, but it's like I've taken them in stride, and I've been able to work through them and just not feel so lost. I just feel like I've got this. I can do this. Even though I get super overwhelmed sometimes, and of course all new moms do, no matter what your baby is doing, I still, bottom line, am just feeling confident, oddly enough. So I highly recommend that blog. She's very into, like, she's one of those like real pro breastfeeding, real pro baby wearing, real pro that kind of person. Although she doesn't come off like really condescending about it, which I like. I really like her writing. I read through almost her entire blog over the course of a couple of weeks, just spending all those hours in my nursing chair in the glider. But anyway, I'll link that below. I thought I would start including, and this went really long, I'm sorry because I had so much to say there, but I thought I'd start including some of my favorite mommy blogs and resources like that, online resources, because I do spend time surfing. When you're nursing, you spend some time surfing your phone. Anyway, oh, I think I've got baby on the monitor here. Oh no, she's still sound asleep. Anyway, those were my 2-month favorites. I'm sorry this went a little bit long. I felt like I wanted to talk a little bit more about that Nourishable.com blog. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'd love to know some of your baby must-haves if you care to share, or for older children as well, because, Charlotte's only going to get older, and I love your suggestions. I love your input and advice, and I love hearing from you guys. And I hope you are all well. Thank you so much for watching, and take good care. Bye, guys.